Thank you so much for joining our first Meetup Poet Monday. This episode is being recorded, so just FYI, it will be sent out later on this week via email, so you can look back at it. And then please remember also to keep your microphone muted. So unless you have a question later on, be sure to remember to unmute yourself, or you can always use the little hand reaction.
Chelsea.
Yep. Hello?
There you go. Yep.
I was muted. Okay, perfect. So just to kind of reiterate, if you have any questions, just use the chat box, raise your hand, or use the hand reaction. We'll get to you at some point. And then we just hope that this Zoom meeting serves as a way for you to connect with a current student and hear about their poet experience live. We also hope that you remember to ask questions and just engage with our student as well. So to start, my name is Chelsea Spear. I'm the Assistant Director of Annual Giving at Whittier College. I'll be hosting this series. Thank you again for your time and for working this into your Monday virtual routine. So thank you so much. And now let me introduce you to our first year student, Ashley Duenas, class of 2023. Hi, Ashley. How are you doing today?
I'm doing really good. Hello, everybody. It's really great to see so many of you guys, and I hope that you're all doing well. So like Chelsea said, I'm actually joining us. I'm a first year. I'm majoring in environmental science, and something that I would like to share with you guys is this little poster flag that I have from Whittier, and this is over a year old, and it was sent to me in my acceptance letter. And a little cute story behind that and why I would like to share that is because my mom is a second grade teacher for LAUSD, so she's big on education, she's big on going to college. And her little thing that she does is that she has pennants and flags from her college, from my sister's college who went to Cal State LA. And so the first thing that she wanted to do once I sent in that I was going to Whittier was to buy a flag and put it up in her classroom and to share with her students that her daughter was going to Whittier. So that's a little story and a little something personal about me.
Love that. Thank you for sharing. And also thank you, Ashley, for fitting this into your schedule. I know you had class earlier today, so thank you. Can you tell our audience a little bit about why you chose Whittier College?
Yeah, so actually, since my sophomore year, I had been interested in Whittier, and the reason why was because during my sophomore year, I had planned on becoming a journalist and a writer, and so writing intensive courses were available at Whittier, which I was really excited for, and also how close it is to home for me since I live in Norwalk, which is just 5 miles away. And then in my junior years, when I really changed the direction of what I wanted to do in my future, and I became really interested in environmental science and especially into beekeeping, which is what I hope to do in the future with beekeeping research, studying bees and their effect and their impact on the environment. And so I actually had a speaker come into my AP Environmental Science class. Her name was Professor Cheryl Swift. And when she spoke about environmental science, I just became so engaged and just so passionate about it. And I felt that I wanted to see where I could go with this in my future. And so, that she came from Whittier, I was like, wow, like this is a sign that I should go to this school. And so from there, knew I was going to apply. And once I got in, I was like, I know I'm going.
Perfect, thank you. So currently you are an environmental science major, correct?
Yes.
Perfect. And so you want to be a beekeeper or study bees. And so can you share with us, I know you're a freshman, this is your first year, but do you have any sort of memorable experiences so far at Whittier that you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, so actually I am a club member of the TOBEGLAD club, which is basically a club that kind of raises awareness about social justice issues regarding the LGBTQ plus community. And so I had been in a club similar like this to high school, but once coming into college, I wasn't really sure how engaged or how active I could be in a club. And then coming into the TOBEGLAD club, I felt so accepted and so welcome. And we did a Trans Day of Awareness on campus, and I was able to help make posters, and I was able to really feel like I was a part of doing something to raise awareness and just how students who weren't even in the club or who, you know, I had seen around campus, I had seen in the library, I had seen them, at the spot, they had actually come and were supportive of this, like, day of awareness. And it was just so memorable for me and so touching for me as a student. And, as a part of that community, I just felt like, wow, like this campus just really accepts me, really accepts a lot of people in this community. And I was just so grateful for that moment.
Great. Thank you for sharing that experience. I love that. Um, so far, have you had a favorite or most challenging class that you've taken this year?
Yes, it's both my favorite and most challenging. And it was an econ slash environmental studies course that I took over Jan term. And I had never taken like anything similar to a Jan term ever before, especially as my first year. And this class it was mostly juniors and seniors, but the professor had decided to open it to freshmen. And so half of the day would be environmental studies topics and the other half would be economics topic. And seeing how it intertwined and seeing how easy the professor was able to, connect and bridge both topics was just amazing to me. And that's why I found it so fascinating. And I actually have that professor again this semester, and I'm most likely going to have him again next semester because his focus and his like main research that he has done is actually about bees. And so that professor is Brian Gross, and so he is just amazing and great. But what made that course so challenging was we had to write a 25-page paper in a group, so it wasn't that crazy, but I had never done anything like that. And it was a lot of research, it was a lot of Excel sheets, and it was just very tough, very invigorating, and it was just really difficult for me at points, but he made it really easy for me to go up to him, ask him questions, really easy to contact him, and he was just an amazing professor. So, yeah.
Perfect. I'm glad you were able to experience that Jan term. So I guess how have things changed for you recently with this new way of living and learning? How has your Zoom experience been with your professors?
So at first, trying to get into the groove of Zoom, when we first started, I would always have my camera off, I was always muted, and I kind of felt defeated because I was kind of struggling in my courses a little bit, and I was like, this is just going to be so difficult, this is going to be such a big change for me, like how am I going to succeed? Because me, I'm like a visual, hands-on kind of person, and now that it's all virtual, it's like, whoa. But as my professors started to, I would like to highlight my business professor especially. He was more like, you guys need to have your cameras on, and I want you guys to talk to me and, make this one-on-one. And even in a class of like over 25 people, I'm pretty sure, he made me feel like I can do this. And he was very reassuring to all of us that we're going to get through this together, and that as long as everybody puts in the effort, we'll all do good and we'll do well. And so because of that, now I find myself making a schedule, having time for myself more, really trying to reach out more to professors, taking advantage of the fact that everybody's online and everybody's at home now. So at first it was kind of difficult for me switching into this. I'm not going to say like I wasn't a student that was like, I get to kind of take it easy now that I'm at home and I'm on Zoom. But I feel like this has just made me work harder and made me a much better student in kind of taking things into my own hands and being much more productive and being much more engaged as well with my professors, even if it's online.
Perfect. I'm glad that, I know it was definitely difficult at first, but I'm glad that you're reaching out to your professors and just making the most out of this. So I'm glad that you sort of found that way to make a schedule and to just adapt to this. What are you looking forward to most in the near future?
Definitely, we have course registration coming up. For me, it's the 22nd. And so that professor that was able to speak to me my junior year of high school, I'm hopefully going to get her Jan term, which I'm really excited for because I've spoken to her since I've become, I started attending Whittier, and she was just so excited to see me, and she was like, oh my God, I remember speaking in your class and all of this. And so I'm just really excited to take her course. She seems amazing. I'm also excited for next semester to take, I'm pretty sure it's environmental economics with the same professor who did my Jan term and the same professor who I'm taking microeconomics with. And so I hope he doesn't get tired of me because I'm really excited to be in another class with him. And just, as well as that, I was actually able to use the STEM like advising and handshake process. And so the STEM advisor, Elizabeth Sanchez, she is amazing, and she had actually helped me build my resume and start a cover letter from scratch, which I didn't even know what that was coming into my second semester of Whittier. And she really took me step by step, helping me edit, helping me kind of build up what I thought was nothing, like, oh yeah, I do this, or oh yeah, I'm in this club. And she was like, no, like you need to build that up, build yourself up, and make sure that you seem like a good candidate for this. And because of that, I was able to apply for a Friends of the LA River policy and advocacy internship. And so I am hopefully awaiting those results. But either way, I'm very excited that she was able to help me so much with that. And so I will see where that goes.
Oh, hope to hear good news on that soon then. When would that internship take place?
They said so the applications were due in May, and what they were hopefully looking for to make sure that most students were out of school was probably like July and then into August. And so hopefully I'm able to get that.
Great. And then the Jan term class, what class is that? I know you mentioned you're looking forward to that, but what class would that be?
For hers, it's just selected topics in environmental science. And so since I already took environmental science my first semester, like intro to environmental science my first semester, I will hopefully be able to get that since I met all the prerequisites for it. So it's just getting a spot, waking up early, and being able to register for it.
Nice. Well, good luck with that. Um, well, I do know that we also want to see if there are questions from the audience. So if you guys have any questions for Ashley, now would be a great time if you have any questions for her so far in this session. Well, yes, Jessica.
I don't know if you wanted us to type it or say it, but I was going to say when I was a student, I know one of the most unique things for me was the close relationships I was able to have with professors. And it sounds like, Ashley, you're having a similar experience, but I'm wondering sort of today, what else makes Whittier College sort of unique as a college student?
So definitely now that a lot of my friends are back home from different schools or they're just staying at home from different schools, the one thing that I'm really happy for is like how one-on-one everything really is. And like you said, you're able to build a connection, because I hear Zoom courses get shut down because there's too many students trying to log in. Students aren't getting the right times that they need for a certain course because they just fill up so fast with the Zoom meetings. Or, professors are just having a really difficult time transitioning, uploading assignments, grading assignments, and also, I guess trying to engage with students. And so thankfully, I feel that all of my professors have done a great job in trying to keep that like one-on-one close connection overall. And just even if it's just a small like check-in, a small hope you're all doing well, I just feel that they're really able to do that better than a lot of the other different, things that I have heard. And I'm just really grateful for them being so compassionate towards us and just being so understanding and taking the time to listen to anybody's problem or anybody's concern, or, even anybody's worries, and just always reassuring us that we're going to do fine, and, making sure that if somebody does need that one-on-one connection and, does need a little bit of help, they're not afraid to reach out.
Thank you for that, Ashley. We have a few other questions. Alex asks, what was your favorite meal at the CI?
So I don't eat at the CI. I don't have like a meal plan, and I don't really go there, but I do go to the spot, and I would love to say that once I get that turkey club sandwich back, I will be so happy, because that is one of the greatest things ever. I literally love it. I eat it all the time. I need to stop because it's an addiction. Like, I was going through some old receipts, and I was like, oh, let me see all the different things that I ate. And it was just turkey club and a strawberry lemonade each time. And I was like, okay. So that's definitely the number one for me.
That's funny. How are do you eat the curly fries ever at the spot?
My
Those
friend
were
got them, and I
favorite.
did like them. They were pretty good.
Great. And then we have another question from Kelly. Why bees? Why are you interested in pursuing bee activism?
So this started because one time I was on Instagram, of all places, and there was this post that was really sad, and I'm really sorry to share this, sad post to you guys, but it was like all of these bees were dead, and it was a farmer who was, crying, trying to speak to the person that was recording, and discussing how, you know, there's just an alarming rate of them dying. um it was horrifying to me, and it was so sad. And then that, I knew, like, okay, I have to do something. I have to see what I can do about this. And then that kind of pushed me into gardening club in high school, where my advisor for that, she was like, well, there's all these different things on pollination, different flowers you should plant, different flowers you shouldn't plant. And so after I had seen that, my backyard became basically all lavender. So it's like, purple, very Whittier College over there, but it's also really helpful to bees. So just quick FYI, lavender, really good smelling, helps the bees. And then, um, they're so cute. I love them. They're like little babies. The carpenter bees are fuzzy. One time I was on a trip to Spain with my family, and this big carpenter bee just landed on my knee one time, and it was the most beautiful and magical experience. And actually, in the front steps in the big door of the basilica, there's actually a whole bunch of bees sketched on. And it's like, for something that old, bees have had to been kind of important to be on that thing. And so, just a magical experience. I love bees. They're super important to our environmental system. And, I think that if I was able to, fulfill my career goals with that, I would be very happy. And I would also just really love to work with them.
Thank you, Ashley. Sounds like we definitely need people like you paying attention to our bees and our environment. So thank you. We have another question from Yvonne. How are you staying connected to your college friends during this time?
A lot of FaceTiming, a lot of, trying to stay connected through kind of social media, video chats. One of my friends and I, we had rented study rooms out during lunch and got together since we had a class right before. So we would get a slight snack, eat, and then go to the study room. And so we're trying to recreate that here. So, we both show each other making our lunches, and then we just sit together inside of our own rooms. And then, she even pretended to check out. She had like a little card, and she wrote like room 211 on it. And I thought that was really funny, and how like she kind of went above and beyond to really get the Whittier feel. But I think overall it's just a lot of FaceTiming, but that kind of doesn't make up for how much I do miss them. And I just, I'm really excited to see them again as well, especially on campus.
Yes, definitely. We have another question. I hope I pronounced this right, but Luong Sawyer. He would like to know, what made you want to participate in today's meetup?
So I love working at Phonathon. Like Chelsea can totally, account for this. It's my first job ever. So I was so grateful when I got interviewed, and then when I got, the email where she was like, yeah, like we accepted you at Phonathon. Oh my gosh, my mom was like, why are you screaming so loud? What's going on? And so I've been just so grateful for the experience. Talking to alumni has really changed a lot of my perspective on Whittier for like the better, of course. You know, I love working there. Talking to alumni, they have so much to share. And sometimes they say, "Oh, yeah, I'm going to donate and I'm sorry for taking up your time in a report, or I'm sorry for taking up your time and talking to you about this." And I'm like, "No." Like I always tell them, "Don't ever say sorry to me, because everything that you say, like I'm listening to you. I'm listening to your experiences here, and I'm listening to your advice for what's going to happen after." And so, once Phonathon got closed, I was like, oh my gosh, like, no, like, that was something I looked forward to. Like, I even decorated the Phonathon room for Halloween one time. And I was just really sad about, not being able to go back. And so then once Chelsea emailed me about doing the thank you to alumni picture, the little banner, I was like, of course. I was like, I'm on it. Like, don't worry, I'll do it right away. And then when she was like, hey, would you like to be a part of talking to alumni on Zoom? I was like, yes, of course. What time? Just tell me what I need to do. What's the link already? And she was like, okay, it's in 2 weeks, So that was, definitely the number one thing is I love talking to alumni, and I just love working at Phonathon. So that for me was, I was going to do it no matter what, regardless, because I love working here.
Oh, thank you, Ashley. I didn't preface that in the beginning, but yes, Ashley did work for our Phonathon team and still does. For some of the alumni on the call, you might have spoken with her. But for Ashley's first year on the college, her first campus job, she's done such a great job. I run the Phonathon team, so that's how I met Ashley, and she is one of our top fundraisers for the team. And as you can see from her just speaking, she has a lot of passion for Whittier. So I'll love speaking with you. We have another question from Laura. She says, hi, Ashley. Thanks so much for sharing your experience with us today. What are you looking forward to most once shelter in place ends?
I would say the number one thing is being able to go out with my family again, and just enjoying the little things, hanging out with my friends, hanging out with my family that isn't with us right now here. Going back into school. The number one thing I'm really looking forward to once we get back is having my Taco Tuesdays with one of my friends, because we do that every Tuesday, and we used to go to this place called La Chiva Junior. So this is like a little quick advertisement, but they do have 99-cent tacos on Tuesday, and they are the best, I promise you. And so I'm just really excited to kind of get back into, hanging out, getting to spend quality time with, everyone, and like, different people that I miss. And I'm also just really excited to honestly get back into that Whittier library. I don't know what it is about it, but it just makes me want to focus, and it just really makes me zone in into my work, nothing like ever before. And I just miss, that feeling of powering through homework, powering through this project, powering through everything just because I'm sitting in this library. And so that's definitely one thing I'm really looking forward to once we get back on campus.
I'm definitely for that Taco Tuesday. Was that a restaurant that you named in Whittier?
Yeah, it's in Uptown. It's like right next to the theater, so.
Nice. Speaking of the library, is that your favorite place to study, or did you have like a favorite floor that you like to study on?
I really enjoy the study rooms on the third floor because it's so quiet, and Actually, there's another room. I don't remember what it is, but it actually overlooks the music hall and like kind of like that and like towards that side of campus. And it's just so beautiful if you get there at the right time, like the sun is nice and shining or like when the sun is going down. It's just really nice and it's just really helps me focus kind of being in that quiet setting. And also like all of the like natural light that comes in also just makes it really pretty and like really aesthetic to study. So I really enjoy that.
Thank you for that. And then we have another question from Long Sawyer. He says, many of the classes at my son's elementary school do gardening during the year. To speaking to his class about environmental science generally and bees or beekeeping specifically. Wow.
Chelsea, you cut out just a little bit if you want to repeat the question.
Yes, definitely. Can you all hear me okay now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the question was, many of the classes at my son's elementary school do gardening during the year. Fingers crossed, once school resumes in the fall, would you be open to speaking to his class about environmental science generally and bees or beekeeping specifically? Wow.
Yes, that would be really fun. I've actually been able to do some volunteering at an elementary school before, going into my first year of high school, and I'm not sure if you were able to hear or if you missed it, but I did say that my mom is a second grade teacher, so I would obviously be able to get a few worksheets if needed or any few little projects. But yes, I would really be interested in that. So yes.
Thank you for that opportunity. I'll definitely try to reach out. I'll definitely reach out to you after the Zoom meeting to see if I can connect both of you and sort of share those details. So thank you. What a great opportunity for you, Ashley.
Thank you so much.
Great. Well, yes, Eva.
I have a question. Hi, Ashley, this is Eva. I want to ask you if there's a particular class that you're maybe looking forward to taking in the next 3 years that might be sort of outside of your academic major or academic interest. Because I know, for example, that the one thing I really appreciated about my Whittier College education was the ability to just take very unusual classes that didn't quite fall into my academic interest. I was an English major. But I remember, for instance, my freshman year, I ended up taking a Chinese calligraphy course that allowed me to participate and perform in a Chinese opera, something that I would never, ever even think about doing. And it was one of the most memorable experiences. So I wonder if you already had an experience like that, or if you have an eye on a particular area that you want to explore.
So yes, I both. I have taken a few courses that weren't really in my academic interest, and I'm hopefully planning on taking another one that isn't also in my academic interest. So my first semester, I took Intro to Guitar, and I also took a women's self-defense course. And I'm really shy. I am not the strongest person. And so when I took, women's self-defense as that one kind of credit that I needed, I didn't really see myself enjoying the course. I felt like it was going to be a gym class in college, and I was really nervous because we were working with campus safety. But once we were towards the end of the course, it just personally empowered me so much and just made me feel so much safer, sharing tips and sharing, different things with some of my friends that I was able to, tell them from my course. And just also how they make sure that you feel confident in yourself, confident in your voice, and, confident in, your ability to be smart in different situations. I was just so stunned with myself at the end and how I felt during our final. It was like a whole new Ashley that I had never even known before. And I was just really amazed with myself, and I was so happy with how campus safety, took the course seriously and, made sure that everybody felt safe, but also made sure that, we had some kind of fun sometimes and, keeping it, kind of where, it is a kind of a scary topic to discuss. And they just always made sure, to help us kind of view this as a way to empower ourselves more than to scare ourselves, which I was just really grateful for. And for a class that I'm hoping to take, I met with Professor McBride, who runs the Institute of Baseball Studies. And I'm a huge Dodger fan. This wall that I have over here that you guys cannot see is all Dodger blue, specifically from, I think it's Glidden Paints. I have a whole bunch of Dodger memorabilia. I go to a Dodger game every season, except for this one, of course. We were kind of sad about that. We do Jackie Robinson Day, and so every year. And so he has a course on the history of baseball, or baseball, and I'm pretty sure it is the history of baseball. And he does a few trips to Cuba where he kind of teaches baseball and literature coming together. And so I really hope I'm able to get a class with him in spring of 2021, because that is definitely something that I'm personally really connected to. And so when I spoke with him and he was like, yeah, I go for Boston, but we have so much Dodger memorabilia, like I'm becoming a fan myself. It was so fun to talk to him. And I wasn't even technically enrolled into Whittier yet, because it was just kind of like one of those like open houses at school. And I was like, this guy's great. Like I have to have a class with this guy. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Great, thank you. And I also like what you said about the women's self-defense class that you took. I feel like not a lot of students get to engage with our campus safety officers in that way during your class. So I'm glad that you definitely felt empowered and felt like a new Ashley. And I look forward to hearing about your story once you get into McBride's class in the spring. So that'll be awesome. Great. Well, are there any more questions for Ashley before we move on right now? Okay, perfect. I did just want to, again, thank you so much, Ashley, for your time here. And to our audience, Ashley, just like many of our students at Whittier, is a scholarship recipient. And we are so fortunate that so many of our alumni, parents, and friends support students just like Ashley. So thank you to you guys. And to sort of wrap up our session, I just want to ask if there's anything, Ashley, that you'd like to say to the donors who support you and other Whittier students.
You guys are the best. You guys are amazing. I love talking to as many of you as I can. Thank you so much for all of your support, for getting me to a school that I had dreamed of going to since, I was about 15. Thank you so much for providing so many amazing services. Like I had said, STEM advisors, for really supporting great professors that I've had a connection to that might be getting tired of me. Thank you for providing them with an amazing job. Thank you for providing one of the best campuses ever with an amazing turkey club sandwich that I can get. And then just thank you for providing such a welcoming and such a great campus where once you're in a class, you feel like you're in a community. It doesn't feel like you're an outsider ever. It just is great to be on campus, and it's so great to make connections with so many of alumni. And it can range from my major, it can range from a team that we both like, it can range from anything. I love making connections with all of you. And I'm just so grateful that you guys continue to support Whittier. And just thank you so much, of course, for spending time with me today. I really enjoy this. And I just thank you guys so much for everything that you do for our campus.
Thank you, Ashley. I really feel like you hit on so many different aspects of Whittier College and what we've all benefited from and enjoyed. So thank you for that and for speaking to our donors. And I also just wanted to, again, thank you all so much for your support of our students. We really appreciate it. Please, we're getting some comments. Jessica just said, thank you so much, Ashley. I'm glad to hear online learning is going well, and good luck with finals.
Thank you.
And I just want to ask you guys all to please join us next week for our second Meetup Poet Monday at 2 p.m. We will be connecting with a graduating senior, Gabrielle Brown. She's majoring in business with concentrations in accounting, management, and international business. Gabrielle will be Zooming with us live from New York and is definitely eager to connect with you all. She will be joining the workforce soon, so if there are any alumni that have available internships or job openings this summer, please be sure to hop on our Zoom call and connect with her professionally. We'll be sending out the invitation tomorrow. So thank you so much, and have a great rest of your week. Thank you.
Okay,
Bye. Thank you.